Howdy everybody. So this is my assignment 8.1 for BioLab 112. My name's Emily Banks and I'm in section 532 with Donna James. And today I'm doing clams, and they are Murcia, which is the generalized scientific name for clams. As you get more specific into clams like freshwater or saltwater, they will be more specified. And then, so what is a natural habitat for a clam? It depends on the type of clam, but they live in fresh or salt water, and they are also found in all 5 oceans. They love to make their home out of sandy and muddy bottoms in most bodies of water. They burrow themselves just beneath the surface in shallow water, and that way it's to help avoid waves and choppy waters. So how do clams get food? Clams' main way to get food is through filter feeding. The water will enter their shell from a current or an active pump, and the food particles will get stuck and trapped in the clam's cilia, and the cilia helps move the particles to the clam's mouth. They typically eat plankton, bacteria, and deuterias, which are tiny pieces of plant found on the ocean floor or within the sand. So here is a graph kind of showing the filter feeding and active pump process, and where the water goes in through the mucus and the cilia and then out through the other side of the clam. We also can see the muscular foot that a clam has to help them stay mobile. So predators and prey. Clams have a lot of main predators. Their main predators are going to be blue crabs and water-filled cow-nosed rays, and those are the rays that we see all the time. So like think of the Moana ray. And then they also have other ones, but those are the main ones they see on a day-to-day basis. For prey, because they are a filter-feeding animal, their only prey are really plankton and bacteria. And then we have a little plankton and plankton. So what are the unique and involved traits? Clams have some very unique traits that can be shown on the cladogram I have on the next slide. They have a large muscular foot that allows them to move around. They also have a complete gut and an open circulatory system. A few more worth mentioning is they have a mental cavity that contains gills and anus and neopores to help them through filter feeding and digestion. And this is going to be unique to the phylum mollusk. And as you see, we have the cladogram here where the phylum mollusk and clams are going to land on this branch right before the phylum brachiopods right here. And then all of these will contain protozoans as the outgroup is deuterozoans. And then for the tree of life, I made this graph to kind of help simplify, and you can see exactly where phylum mollusk is. They are in the kingdom of Animalia. They're in the superphylum of Locotrochozoa and the phylum mollusk, as well as the class Bivilia. So what is the importance of clams? They are broken up into different categories. So first, let's talk about nitrogen. Clams have a very important function. And one of the most important functions nowadays is they remove a lot of nitrogen from coastal waters. So each little size clam can end up removing almost 0.1 grams of nitrogen from the water when they're harvested. And clams also cycle that nutrients, such as the nitrogen, for surrounding organisms. Clam urine actually is very nitrogenous, which is a primary source of nitrogen for phytoplankton. So this keeps that life cycle and that food cycle in the ocean going. And I have here a diagram from the University of Florida that kind of explains where they get their nitrogen from, how they cycle it through the different nitrifications for bacteria or for when they're harvested and removed. Clams are also very important for carbon. So clams use carbon for a lot of different things in their overall habitat. First, they take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and they store it in their calcium carbonate shells, and that stores it for a very long time. They also produce carbon as a byproduct of their respiration, and this is used for other organisms at the bottom of the ocean, such as worms, brittle stars, and decomposite feeders. And a little-sized clam can store up to almost 3 grams of carbon per clam, and then this is another diagram produced by the University of Florida, kind of explaining where they get their carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or through respiration and gives it to the composite feeders or in their shell. So they also have a major importance to mankind. The amount of nitrogen that a clam's removed, it will be a very costly price if it was done by humans. In areas like Fort Myers, it costs $5.22 per pound of nitrogen for it to be removed when clams are doing it for us naturally. And because of how fast clams can filter feed, they filter feed 544 million gallons of water by 136 million clams. And that is 25,000 pounds of nitrogen and 760,000 pounds of carbon that helps save that Fort Myers area alone $100,000 for that industry. And then this is my works cited, and that is why the protozoan clams are important.